Hey everyone. So happy to be with you today. So sad we're not going to be with each other after today, but we have, I feel like I've learned a lot this year and can go away from this year being pretty excited about what I've learned and what you've learned, what you've taught me. Let's open the class with a prayer by Ben. And then we'll get going on our mission statements. Ben, go ahead.
Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we're so very grateful for this day. We're so thankful for the time that we're able to spend here, and we could invest it in learning and growing. Please bless us that we'll be able to choose to pay attention, to learn. Please bless us all that we'll be able to have the Spirit with us, and please bless us to be safe in all that we do throughout the rest of this day. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thanks so much. So really, we only meet about 30 times this year. We've only met about 30 times this year, but it seems like I've known all of you for a lot longer, especially with Paige. I feel like I've known you a little longer than 30 weeks. So last week we kind of put things all together with this little thing, but I want to continue the discussion, and then also I'd love if we could share mission statements. And I would love it if you had your mission statement ready to go and you could tell us how you got to where you are now and how this class helped you or hindered you. You never know. So yeah, I think we'll do that. And then at the end, let's talk about how come we'll have a discussion on how we are a different person than we were last August when we started. Did we start in August or did we start in September right after Labor Day? I mean, is it called Labor Day? Labor Day. So we'll go there after, but please get your mission statements out. If there's a personal part in there that you don't want us to hear, you don't have to read that part, but if you could share as much as you can of your mission statement. And then what was the question? How this class helped you get to that point of writing a mission statement. Okay. So who is ready? McKay, did you get a haircut? No? Okay.
Thank you, though.
Well, who knows if I was thinking of a really nice thing to say about your hair or not. No, you look great. Okay, who is ready? Who'd just like to get it over with?
And you said quotes are fine, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was getting a little worried there.
Yes. Do you want to? Mine is actually a scripture, so.
Okay, good.
Maybe I should share
Yours.
mine.
Yes.
Let me find it. Ding. Okay. Mine is Philippians 4:13. And I just accidentally closed out the page. Why did I do that? Philippians 4:13, and I want to do LDS scriptures. Why do I do things like that? And now it's not even coming up. LDS. There it is. Okay. Let me share my mission statement and then how I got to that point. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. I'll put that in the chat box. Actually, I'll just put it on the class notes. Okay. How did I get to that point? So in my first, nope, that's the wrong one. Trying to find my old book and it's not here. But in the first one that I did when I first went through the Mission Driven Academy, Mission Driven Mom Academy, I had a lot of my life spelled out and I loved it. But when anybody would ask me what my mission statement was, I would forget. And I would have to go find my book and read it out. And then it would remind me of all these wonderful things that I want to do and accomplish in life and what makes me tick. And it was great. And I lived like that for about 4 years. And then just last year, as I was putting this class together, someone asked me what my mission statement was. It was one of your moms, I believe. Yes. And I couldn't remember again. I had to go back to it. And I realized then I really want to get a mission statement that I can always remember that will help me make decisions in every aspect of my life. And so I prayed about it. And one day in my scripture study, this scripture came to me. And it's this scripture study, or this scripture has like the growth mindset in it. It's like, I can do all things. So it puts a lot of power on me. I can do all things, but then it shifts that power to Christ. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, yeah. And so it gave me the power to be able to do anything that I set my mind to do and do it in righteousness and do it with God. And so this course has really helped me to see that I do need to do things, but I need to do them with Christ. And so that's how I got to it. And now if anybody asks me what my mission statement is, it's pretty easy. I can come up with it. So who would like to go next? Oh, there's somebody chatting. Let me just open this up. Oh, your video isn't working, Sarah. So sad. Yes, your computer does have all the problems, but maybe your computer needs a mission statement. Josh, that would be fine. He sent me a direct message. Yeah, go ahead. That would be fine. So, McKay, are you ready to go? Should we just call on you?
Yeah, I can do it if you want me to.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, right after McKay, I'll go. I just have to go and get my notebook because I didn't write it on the computer.
Okay. Do you want to go get your notebook right now, and we'll wait for you? Okay.
Oh, McKay, you can go. I'll be like 10 seconds.
Okay.
Sounds good. So I chose a quote that I was looking through a lot of quotes about discipline and truth, I guess, and how to get started, I guess, and what you need to do to become successful. And I stumbled upon one. It's actually by Donald Trump. I don't want to get controversial or anything like that, but this one really hit me hard. And it says, get going, move forward, aim high, plan a takeoff. Don't just sit on the runway and hope someone will come along and push the airplane. It simply won't happen. Change your attitude and gain some altitude. Believe me, you'll love it up here. And to me, that means that it has impacted me just reading it, and I can see how I can base my whole life on this. About you have to actually put in the work to have outcomes, and that's a big deal to me. So
like you have to have it, you have to be doing something to be able to get somewhere.
Yep.
You can't depend on your mom, your dad, Paige, Jessica, Josh. Can't depend on any of them, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
Depends on me. I got you, McKay.
Thanks, bro.
So how did this class help you to realize that this would be your mission statement?
Well, I guess going over all the principles that Bait had, like, that was focusing on truth and how to find it. I was looking to find something that would portray that in a way that I'd like it to. So I kept doing research, and then I finally stumbled upon this one, and it hit pretty hard for me. So
That's awesome. And I guess you did say a little bit of that already. So sorry about the repeat.
no, it's okay.
Okay, Ben, do you want to go next? But before Ben goes, who would like to go after Ben? Okay, Jessica. Then after Jessica, who would like to go? Paige. And then after Paige, who would like to go? Josh or
Sarah will
Sarah?
go.
Josh will go, and then Sarah. Okay, let's go in that order.
I don't think Sarah's mic is actually working. So
Sarah?
she said that she wanted to go before Josh raised his hand.
Okay, is that okay, Josh? Sarah goes, and then, okay, great. And if you want to, you can believe, Josh, you can believe, oh, the best for last. Okay, go for it.
Okay, so the mission statement well, I've been toying with it. I haven't come down to the exact phrasing, but it actually came from the oratory that I'm writing, that it's my mission to make sure that it's my mission to invest the time that I have in becoming the best person I can. And so it's principles of action. And then I feel like it encompasses, because of the things that I've learned in this class about values and how to best use your energy and push towards that. Then the time that I have can be invested in making sure that the next day I'm able to do my work, which is getting good sleep or taking care of my mind or taking care of my body. And then making it so that I'm better in 2 or 3 weeks, or smarter in 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 or 3 months means that investing daily time into practicing the piano, just making sure that my entire day I'm using my time to become the best person I can.
That's awesome. My first question always is, how do we know what the best person that we can be is? So how would you define that?
Well, if I make the best decisions I can every day, then the best person is who I end up being.
Yeah, I like that. That action creates who you are. And I guess thought first, right? Love it.
Can
Okay.
you guys hear me?
Yes. Was that you, Sarah?
That was me.
Yay. We can hear you. All right, let's go with Jessica.
All right, so mine is actually, so this week it's been kind of crazy. So I feel like I haven't spent a ton of thought on it, but last night I was talking with my mom and we found this quote that I really liked from, I think it was an old, she was the Young Women's General President for the church, serving in 2000. And she said it from a general conference talk. Anyway, so this is what she said. Women of God can never be women of the world. The world has enough women who are tough. We need women who are tender. There are enough women who are coarse. We need women who are kind. There are enough women who are rude. We need women who are refined. We have enough women of fame and fortune. We need more women of faith. We have enough greed. We need more goodness. We have enough vanity. We need more virtue. We have enough popularity. We need more purity. And that's one that my mom and I found. And I think that in some ways, obviously a tiny bit, it was a last minute decision. But when I read it, I was yeah, I don't care to be one of the world. I want to be one of God. And these are the steps that I need to take. And obviously, it might end up changing to something else in the next couple of years. But I think that especially for this next year before mission and then on my mission, and just deciding who I'm going to be and what I want to do, these are some good steps and certain values that I love that will help me become a better person. And I feel like, let's see, what was the other question again? I forgot.
So how this class or the things that you read in this class helped you to get to this point?
Well, I think that, I don't know, all the emphasis, well, to me, it seemed like there was a lot of emphasis on you are in control of yourself. And so I love this quote because it invites you to be all of these other things, which are total opposites to what this world and the women in this world have become. And so it reminds me, like, because of all the things that we've studied, of like, you get to decide who you are and what you do, and no one else can put a pressure. Well, they can put pressure, but you don't succumb. And I don't know, just especially like with your thoughts and then what you choose to allow yourself to think, and the things that you can tell yourself, and telling yourself the truth exactly how it is, and staying out of the box, and just so many things I feel like led to this, that, like, yeah, I'm the one in control, and these are the things that I want to do, and I don't care what other people think. So that's kind
Wow.
of what I'm thinking. So
Power to you and God. That's awesome.
yep, thank you.
I love it. Okay, Paige.
Okay, mine is not a quote.
okay.
Mine is like that that portion of the 7 Habits book, when it gave the examples of a couple of them, and one of them was just like a bunch of bullet points. Mine's
Yes.
like that.
Awesome. Awesome.
So, okay, I'm a truth seeker and will stand up for what I know. I will not change my true self to fit someone else's mold. I will do things with purpose, on purpose. I will make mistakes. I will learn from them. I will love those around me and leave judgment up to God. I know God exists, and I will continue to strengthen my love for him. He loves me and wants me to succeed. I will use the talents he gave me to bless my spirit and those around me. I will continue to grow in knowledge and strength to learn principles and truths that are eternal. I will do what I love and find the good in my life wherever I am. So what I really got out of a lot of the books we read this year was really like establishing yourself as a person, a lot of self-improvement through like knowing really who you are, knowing what your weaknesses are and what your strengths are, and how to like navigate around them. And then just a really foundational belief in God for me personally. And then I forgot what the other question was.
Kind of covered some of it, like how this class or what you've learned in this class got you to that point.
Yeah.
But you kind of talked about that, but is there anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay, that was it then. Beautiful. There's one that really stuck out to me, and I want you to repeat it. About learning from your mistakes. What did you say? There were 2 sentences.
No, this says, I will make mistakes and I will learn from them.
That really stuck out to me, because just this recognition that you are going to make mistakes is just part of life. It's like, that's the normal, right? And that you're choosing to learn from them. And it made me think of that growth mindset that you and I are learning in, I don't know if you've looked at, she and I are in pathways right now together, but we'll share some of that later in the class today. I love that. Thank you. I think it's Sarah next, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I also didn't get a lot of time to work on it this week. And when I really thought about it, I guess what I really leaned towards was the young women's theme, and the youth theme from last year, which is Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. So they're both like, I'm familiar with them both and have them both memorized. So I chose them because they direct me towards Christ. And I feel like I need to work on that more in my life. And in the very last section of the young women's theme, it says, with faith I will strengthen my home and family, and skipping a sentence, and receive the ordinances and blessings of the holy temple. And I really want to implement the temple more in my life, and then focus on strengthening my relationships with my family more. So that's why I chose that.
Wonderful. Love it. Thank you, Sarah. Josh.
Sorry, I managed to not hit the unmute button. So I actually didn't work on a mission statement. I forgot about it. But I think, Sister Greenman, if that's okay with you, I'll just like kind of share how this class has like helped me in different ways and stuff, if that's okay with you. Unless you want me to share something else, or
No.
is that what you want me to
Do what you have in your, that sounds great for right now. And I might have some questions for you.
Okay. So I think this class has changed me, because there's lots of principles that I've learned about in a different class, and then there's lots of principles in this one, like the 2 great laws, and then like there's like 100 more. It's pretty crazy, but I feel like principles have been a key in basically everything I've been doing. So lots of these principles have changed me to let's see, how, I don't know about better attitude, but progress more often. And it was just really cool to see all these principles, and then like in the videos how some people's lives changed and stuff like that. So I just really, I mean, the class is super fun anyways, so.
Awesome. You said a phrase that stuck out to me. You said progress more often. What does that look like to you?
It's like before I took the class and before I took classes, I was like progressing like not very often. Like it was like once a month. But this one, it was like every other week. It was like super cool. It was cool to see what I was doing, how I could accomplish it and everything like that. So
That's awesome. I love that because I don't know if I've ever thought of progressing that way. So what I'm getting from that phrase, progress more often, is that I'm going to choose to do some work, and then I'm going to progress because I'm choosing that, and I'm going to progress more often because I'm choosing more often. So cool. We've heard from everybody, right? Okay. So I want to tell you a little bit about an experience I had last night. I teach at a local college here. And last night there were, it's a small college. We were there for 3 seniors. This senior class started out 4 years ago with 10 students, because that's kind of their limit, that they take about 10 students. But 7 of them have gone on missions, and most of them have returned and are coming back in the fall. But the 3 that had already been on missions or didn't go on a mission yet, they finished And so we celebrated by last night listening to their senior projects, and also we had oral finals. Well, one of the students was presenting her senior project, and what she has come up with is a blog that is, I believe it's Kindred's Club. You can go look at it somewhere, but anyway, she said that all the semester she was working really hard and ideas were coming to her, and she got about 85% done with every one of the blog posts and about 85% done with the blog. And then she hit a wall every time, about 85 at about 85%. And I want everybody to be thinking about what you can learn from this story as I tell it. Then she realized, I have to finish this senior project because I'm going to present on it, and I have to get I want to get a good grade. And by the way, she graduated magna cum laude from the class, which was cool. Anyway, she said that last 15% of her assignment, of each of the blog posts and each of the things that she had to do, was so hard. And she pushed through, but here's what happened. Each time she pushed through on a blog post, that last 15%, ideas came to, like explosion of ideas came to her, and realizations of things, and great peace and enlightenment came to her when she pushed through that last 15%. And she couldn't believe it. It was like this was happening each time. And now she's got so many ideas for more, but she learned something about herself and that last 15%. What do you think she learned?
Commitment.
What's that? Commitment. Okay. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, I'll answer again. I think there was that level of commitment compiled with not relying on motivation. So she didn't need that at all. It was plain and simply just commitment.
Yeah. Commitment. And what was, so she was paid like more than she ever thought she could with getting through and following through that commitment. She was paid so much more in knowledge and wisdom, and it was incredible. How often do we just do part of our duty or part of our responsibility and we hit a wall and we decide not to go forward? What are we missing out?
We never learn that we can do it, because obviously we can do it, but we never have that full trust in ourselves if we never push through that.
That's right. That is right. So I want to share with you something that I'm always amazed at. Any class that I take or any new knowledge that I'm learning, it almost always helps me with current things that I'm doing. And so I want to share something with you from a class with BYU Pathways that I'm learning. But first, let's listen to Sarah.
Well, like Josh mentioned, we have a lot of principles that we're learning for a class that just finished. And two of those principles I saw in this story. Self-validation and self-reliance. I bet the first blog post that she completed with the 15% was like the hardest one, because she was still figuring out how to push through it. And as she continued, and it's my personal opinion that it would get easier as she got the validation that she could do it and then was able to rely on herself to do it.
Yeah, she did talk about that. She talked about how much easier it was. So love it. Excellent. What class was it that you've been taking?
It's called Georgics. It's a Lemmy Foundations
Yep, I know what it is.
course.
I've taken that class actually. That's awesome. Good. Okay, I want to share my screen. And this, by the way, I put it on the class documents too, but I just want to share with you these two mindsets. You've heard of them. I bet you know a lot about them already. Carol Dweck, PhD, has come up with this visual. And one mindset is a fixed mindset. And so that your intelligence is static. Like you were born with a certain amount of intelligence and that's all you're going to get. And the other one is a growth mindset, meaning that your intelligence can be developed. You can go the next 15%, the last 15%, right? Could somebody read what this says in the fixed mindset? Somebody read this part.
Sure. Leads to a desire to look smart and therefore to a tendency to avoid challenges, give up easily, see effort as fruitless or worse, ignore useful negative feedback. Keep going.
Yeah. Right, that
Feel
one.
threatened by the success of others.
And as a result, go for it. Keep reading.
And as a result, they may plateau early and achieve less than their full potential.
Yes.
Okay.
Keep going. Sorry. All this.
Deterministic view of the world.
Yes, a deterministic view of the world, meaning it's just basically fate. So this would be fate here. I wonder if it allows me. I think it can. So this would be fate over here. So now let's go up here. Who would like to read the growth mindset starting here?
I will.
Okay, I wasn't sure if Josh had his hand up or you said it first or.
I had my hand up first, but Ben can go.
Okay, that's kind of you. Okay, Ben, can you read this?
Okay, growth mindset. Intelligence can be developed, leads to a desire to learn and therefore a tendency to embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, see effort as the path to mastery, learn from criticism, find lessons and inspiration from the success of others, and as a result, they reach ever higher levels of achievement. All this gives them a greater sense of free will.
So what does that have to do with pushing through the last 15%?
If your perspective is growth instead of fixed, then you'll push through. And then by extension, your actions are growth instead of fixed. And then therefore your results are increasing instead of plateauing.
Yeah. I saw your hand up, Paige. What can you add to that?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking like the third little sentence that says persist in the face of setbacks. Oh, sorry.
This
I was
one?
thinking the first one was leads. Yeah. Like obviously hitting a brick wall is probably a setback for her. But, and then the next one, she put in tons and tons of effort. And I'm sure that that experience of her being able to push through and finish that last 15% probably changed her mindset towards other parts of her life. And now it's like, oh, I can put more effort into this thing or this thing. Or if she faces another setback, she knows that she can get through that.
Exactly. Any other thoughts? Okay, if you want to refer back to that, you can find it on the document. Maybe I'll make it smaller so that it will go up on that first page. There we go. Whoops. Yeah, so you can use this in your efforts to really let yourself grow. What setbacks do you have that come into your way? What keeps you from finishing the 15%, do you think?
It can be little things. I mean, issues with your family or things like that, but it also can be I don't know, situations that you get yourself in, and like when you don't put first things first, things like that, I'd say.
Oh, when you don't put first things first. That reminds me of the jars with sand and the big golf balls. Has anybody ever seen that object lesson where you don't put the big golf balls in first and then you try to pour in the sand? And that works, or that doesn't work, because then now you can't put the golf balls back in. Sarah.
I think staying in a fixed mindset or just not pushing through. Sorry, different analogy. Or no, not analogy. Example can also relate to the 4 tendencies.
Oh,
We learned about these in a different class, pyramid, if you're familiar with Lemmy classes.
mhm.
And there's upholder, obliger, questioner, and rebel. So if your tendency is like to please other people, you'll just go with the popular thing and you won't like seek to grow. Upholders are probably the best at it because they meet outer expectations and inner expectations. Questioners can meet the like inner expectations, and then rebels just don't. So like it can relate to your tendency. When you hit a wall, if other people want like you to do it and you're an obliger, like say me and Josh, then you'll be more likely to do it because you have the encouragement and the expectation from the other people. But if you expect yourself to do it and you're a questioner, then you can just do it by yourself. So I think it relates to our tendencies as well.
Beautiful. What is your tendency? Can I put you on the spot?
I'm an obliger, and my secondary tendency is an upholder.
Awesome. That was one test that has come out since this whole curriculum has been developed, that's become popular. And I wish that was in here. It would have been neat to, in fact, the test is really, really fast and easy. It would be good to have everybody go try that. What is the name of the lady that came up with it? Starts with a C or K? Is it Kathy? No, I can't remember what her name is, but I love it. I think it's pretty accurate. More accurate than the other tests that we've taken. Okay, so what are some other things that get in the way that keep us from going that extra 15%? What are some of our fixed mindsets that we deal with?
I
Yeah,
have one.
go ahead.
This reminds me, I just had a thought, and I think it comes from the book Do Hard Things that we read a little bit from.
Mhm.
But I think, actually, I'm not totally 100% sure that it's in there. But I feel like it might be. Anyway, there's something called like a loser culture, and that's the culture that everyone is living right now. So many of the
Talk
kids
about that one.
going through school. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. But pretty much like, if you're gonna do your assignment as full and like as well as possible, you're called like a nerd, or you're called really like you do that? Like, teachers don't deserve that much. Like, there's a lot of negative things that in a public school system that come from doing assignments full out, and doing them well. And if you're like, well, I have to finish this last 15% before I can come hang out with you, then it's like, well, you can just do that later. Like, hanging out with friends and getting your social time is more important anyway. Like, there's a lot of pressure right there. And so I think that sometimes we think, oh, I'm not gonna like do this as full. I want to get it done in a quick 15 minutes so I can go hang out with friends, or it's too much brain power. If I finish this assignment, I'll be called a nerd or teacher's pet. Like, there's a lot of different things, I feel like. And so I feel like sometimes that last 15% is left undone because of an effort to not be thought of a certain way, which in reality you shouldn't think that way, because you're just becoming part of the loser culture where it's cooler to not do your homework. But I don't know, I feel like in some ways it's really easy to think that and be like, yeah, I'm not even going to worry about the last 15% because of these reasons. So
That's so poignant. I agree with you. We get we get in our mind that following what is easier is better. And yet it's the pushing through that will get us the most joy, the most happiness, the most out of it. And we'll still be able to have our social life. And what kind of example do we give to people when we say, you bet I want to do something with you. I need about 30 minutes and I'm going to finish this and I'm going to push through. What are the benefits? What example are we showing? Yeah, McKay.
I guess I think, well, this has happened to me. They'll gain a deeper respect for you.
Uh-huh.
Like for me, I have committed to obeying the word of wisdom, not drinking or smoking or anything like that. And now I don't go to public school, but I'm with that group quite a bit. And now it's like a respect thing. They have a deeper respect for me. They'll never even bring it up around me, like to use any of that sort of thing. And I think in that little time, they might think, oh, he's weird, or you might get looked down upon. But over time, I think they'll gain a deeper respect for what you choose to do.
I think you're right. I mean, I know you're right. That's awesome. Good. Are there any other obstacles that you face? Any of you that you face to not finish that 15%?
Losing interest.
Oh, yes. Does that happen to me? I was just telling Paige earlier before this class that I have some assignments that are due, and I decided I decided it was a tedious assignment and that I didn't like it, and I lost interest in it, but I filled it out anyway. But then when I went back to read it, it was like really dorky. Is that a word you guys use? Or is that too old of a word? It was just, I could tell that I had not put my thought into it. So I made a decision. I'm going to be interested in this and I'm going to do something about it because I know it will change me. And I haven't yet done it because that decision was made this morning, and I've been teaching all day. But I have a desire to go back over and do it again and not decide that it's tedious, but decide that it's going to be worth it. And it's made all the difference already in my heart. Being interested or not interested is a choice. I love that, Sarah. Is there something that you're dealing with right now where you're not interested and it's affected you?
No, it's just I remembered the 16 personalities test,
Mhm.
and campaigners, like, that's what I am. They go for something until they get tired of it and then they just drop it like it's a hot potato.
Yep. Uh-huh. Ah, hold out to me. I just have a bunch of people starting a final exam and I keep having to stop and text moms the password to get into the exam. Sorry about that. It's not that I'm not interested in you. It's that it's a busy time. Yeah. Okay. So then now that we've got this, we understand the fixed mindset and the growth mindset, and you've got your mission statements. What is keeping us from going out and living these mission statements? What is it that we face each day?
I think Jessica's point, like fear of judgment from other people, is a really big one.
Yeah. Yeah, Jessica.
I think a big one is a lack of consistency. My piano teacher, she's amazing, but that's one of her biggest points. She's like, if you want to become good at anything, you need to be consistent. And so she says you can't just practice your song once every 3 days. Like, that's not going to work on the piano. It's going to need to be for a set amount of time every single day. And I think that also, like with consistency, it has to be remembering what we're consistent or trying to be consistent with. And so keeping like a mission statement or the things that we want to work on somewhere where we can see it easily, where it's not being forgotten. I think that's a huge thing, because I know for me, like, I'll set goals and then the next day, if I didn't write it down or put it somewhere where I can see it, then it doesn't happen, right? And it's very common. And so I think that becoming our mission statements and having those truly affect our lives for the better is just gonna be a matter of making sure that they're not forgotten. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like for me at least, that's gonna be one of the biggest things that I'm gonna have to focus on. So
That's beautiful. I think that's a segue to the next section then. So in our books, we have this that says my mission statement. So it's on page 75. And if you turn the page to 76, it has a space for you to write your mission statement. I don't know if you've already gone there to do that, but I want you to take a few minutes to write your mission statement there. And then we'll talk about how important it is to have things written down and to have reminders, just like what Jessica was talking about. So let's see, it's 1:49. I'm going to answer this. So take about 4 minutes.
What page is it on?
76.
Page 76. Sorry. Thank you, whoever answered. How are you guys doing? Do you need about a minute more? Okay. So why don't you put in the chat done when you're finished? So then I know. Okay. I know some of you are still writing, but let's just keep going. Continue to write if you are. And I know it's hard to listen to things and participate while you're writing, but try to do as best you can. So why would we want to write these things down? Why would it be important? Even though we talked a little bit about this, why would it be important to have these written down in a place that we can go find them? Paige.
I think writing things down is kind of like making a commitment to it. Because if you're just thinking about it in your head, well, I mean, that can change. But writing it down is you're deciding that you're going to write this thing down and that you're going to go back and look at it.
Yeah. And even going back to the thing that stuck out to me in your page, in your mission statement, you talked about, I will make mistakes. Recognizing that our brains are human and that they make mistakes, we need to write them down. Because we know we're going to forget them unless we have it written down. Excellent. Any other comments on why we need to write things down?
Writing down specific thoughts or ideas or things that you want to accomplish starts turning wheels in your brain that weren't activated before, which means that you're more likely to realize them simply because you activated another part of your brain. Yes,
it's all about that activation. Why do we go to the gym to lift weights? Why do we exercise? To activate those muscles, to get them working, and they will be better. They will in turn give us more energy. I love it. Okay, so as you close this book and you put it on the bookcase somewhere, what are some of the experiences that you will have over the next few months that will make you want to go back and look up that mission statement again? What kinds of things do you anticipate happening that will make you need to go look at that again? The mission statement. Think about that for a minute. Kind of hard to think about your future and why you would need to look at your mission statement. But I'm sure you can come up with something. So keep thinking.
why we need to look at our mission statement? Or?
Yeah. So what I was saying is you're probably going to go put this on the bookshelf, but what kinds of experiences might you have in the next few months where you'll want to go back and look at that mission statement? Jessica.
Well, I think all of us, like this is one that all of us are going to have to do, whether we're going back to school or some sort of school, or if we're just going to be like working or going on a mission or whatever, like we're going to have to decide who I want to be known for as I go back to these places and as I meet new people. What do I want to represent, and who do I want to show people that I am? Because I mean, like a lot of opportunities get presented on your first day of anything. And the first couple of weeks of anything, you can present yourself as someone totally unresponsible, and then they are wondering why they hired you for this job. Or you can walk into a job or a room or a class, introduce yourself to teachers. Like there's so many things that you can decide with your mission statement that you're not going to want to forget as you make an impression on people. And I don't know, I think that's because obviously like, you want them to recognize that you're a good person, because you are, and just knowing exactly how you're going to act and be gets rid of a lot of confusion for a lot of people, including yourself. So I think that's really important.
I do too. I like that. You're kind of bringing up this idea of identity, of who you are. And yeah, I love that. I love the Gershwin in the background. Who's playing it?
Surprised you recognized that.
Oh, I know my
That's-
Gershwin. Go ahead.
That's my younger sister, Pearl. It's her recital song. So
That's awesome.
she's
Gershwin's
practicing.
not easy to play. That's awesome.
She's really good.
That's awesome. I love that though. You will want to go back to look at those to be prepared for anything you start. Good. What are some other experiences or things that might happen to you that over the next few months that will cause you to go back and look at your mission statement? What are some other things you can think about? Yeah, Paige.
I think like changes in life. Like I know sometimes like I tie a lot of value to the things that I'm doing. It's like, is my grade really good? Am I, progressing in a class? Did I, do this well or on whatever thing? But sometimes life throws a lot of changes at you. So I think down the line, just remembering that who you are is not just like exactly the thing you're accomplishing right in the moment. It's a lot about, like what you believe in and the hard work you're still putting in. It doesn't mean that the outcome is going to be exactly what you wanted, but there's something you can go back to remind you about why you're still trying to progress.
I love that. Like why you're trying to progress. I love that. Good. Any other thoughts? What will happen to you, McKay or Ben or Josh or Sarah in the next few months that will make you want to go back to this book and look at what did you write down for your mission statement?
What's going to make me want to go back and read it?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. What kind of experiences might come up that make you want to go back and look at what you wrote down?
I would want to look back to see what started the process.
Good. Go ahead.
So I think just looking back and see what kind of guidance that will give you. I don't know.
Yeah. So we're always looking at maybe our patriarchal blessing or scriptures, but we can also look at our mission statements. Good. Sarah, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was. Like when you're having a hard day, like just reaffirming what you're here for, what you want to accomplish, and knowing that you have something to work towards.
Love it. Love it. Good. What about you, Josh? Can't hear you. He's probably not by his computer. Okay. I'm excited for all of you. You've got a lot of great things coming up. I'm excited for the decisions you're going to be making. A couple of you are closer to making a decision to go on a mission. And that's really neat. Whatever you decide to do, is going to pull upon the storage of knowledge that you have gained this year. And you probably don't know how often you will come back to these principles. But once you have more and more experiences, you'll realize how solid the foundation is that you have been building over this last year and over your whole life of learning principles. So congratulations to everybody for getting through this whole class. The Mission-Driven Mom organization would like to send you a certificate and a pin for those of you who completed at least 80% of your grade. If you'd like to get your grade up to that, go ahead and turn assignments in. I will be spending the next week getting those grades in, and then I will turn in the names to the Mission-Driven Mom, and they'll send you a certificate and a pin. And the pin is that cool
stuff on the Google Classroom.
What's that? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the pin is going to look like this. So those of you who like to climb mountains, whether physically or emotionally or spiritually, this pin will be a great thing to show that we can do it, So yeah, and I know I've seen assignments be coming in and I haven't even looked at them. So forgive me for that, but I will. I'll spend this time this week and a little bit next week getting those assignments in, and you can do the same thing if you'd like to get up to 80%. Some of you are already there and passed, so good job. Does anybody have any questions before we say goodbye? Okay. Maybe one thing I'd like you to say before you go. Tell me what you're going to do this summer that will require the very best of you. And then we'll go ahead and go. So who wants to go first? I'll go first. I just realized I could set the example. So this summer, I've got a lot going on, a lot on my plate. I'm going to help 3 children move to different states, but I'm going to spend 1 month in Ashland, Ohio, doing some semester-long classes in a 1-week period for 4 different weeks all together. So I'll spend a whole month doing 4 different classes that usually take a whole semester to do, but we'll do them in a week. And that's going to take the best of me. I have to take care of myself, make sure I sleep, study, relax, rest, all of those things so that I can be the best person I can be. So that's what I'm doing. Sarah, go ahead.
Really generic answer because I don't have a lot going on this summer. And if I do, I don't know about it. So living, I'm just going to say living. And Ben's oratory is really pushing me for that because be the best you can be now and give it your all now. So then you can do it again tomorrow and be better tomorrow. And so, yeah, just living.
That's awesome. Thank you. Who's next? McKay.
I'm a little the same. I don't have a ton going on, but got a job this summer, so get some work done and spend some good time with family. Read some books, some schooling through the summer, so I don't lose everything. But yeah.
Good. And Jessica.
Okay, so mine is a lot like McKay's actually. Don't have like a super ton going on, but that gives me an opportunity to create stuff for me to do to increase my knowledge. So hoping to take a couple, well, at least one like math class this summer that will help, and then just like being the best I can so that and like preparing myself with personal study for mission, and I don't know, just becoming more responsible so that I can be prepared to do that for the rest of my life. So
That's awesome, Jessica. Great job. Who else? Paige.
Well, I'm graduating in like a week or two, and then hopefully working through the summer, and then I'm in college class right now, and then hopefully by the end of the summer I can go to even more college classes and keep going there. So exciting stuff.
Awesome. Ben?
I got a job at the Bank of Utah, starting a business on the side, going to the gym, preparing for a mission, leaving on my mission middle of August, early September area. Yeah, just getting as much done as I can before so that I can come back and then I can get back to work.
That's awesome. And are you done with your mission papers yet?
I've submitted them. I just have to have a meeting with the bishop, which is this Sunday, and a meeting with the stake president, which is next Sunday.
That's awesome. Seriously, I want to hear. So when you find out, just text me. I'm not on social media, so I won't find out that way. I mean, I do have a presence there, but I never go on it. So please reach out.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
Good habit.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay, Josh. I think he's checked out. Okay, one more time, be able to get your assignments in if you'd like to get a certificate for this class and also a pin. And reach out to me if you have any questions. I've really enjoyed my time with you. Thank you all, everybody. I'm excited for your lives. See you later.